Come on down to Washington for a kindergarten coup. Don't forget to post your intent on social media too. Take a selfie while committing a felony, then try to blame all your enemies. Test the limits of white privilege at this kindergarten coup.
Stupid asses. Nah, hold on. I gotta get this out. Their stupid asses went to do a revolution during a pandemic where you're supposed to wear a mask, and none of those stupid asses wore masks. That part and the guy that wore his fucking like his company ID to the protest, like those two, that's the dumbest shit I've ever like. Yo, you guys are really like that is some fucking dumb ass honky ass shit.
Well, here's a segment we can do. Then we can go ahead and do it now if you want. Who was the dumbest rioter at the insurgents?
I mean, I don't know a lot of them personally, but
I would have seen some of the memes and like the videos and.
Oh sure, no, I mean, well, the did you see the one where the girl, it was like a teenage girl, right, who called out like her aunt, uncle, and her mom, like because they were like her whatever her mom was like, oh, you shouldn't do those BLM protests because it's not safe or whatever, it's like a protest, who cares, or said talk some shit, right, and then like, oh, all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm going to fucking, I'm going to take your grandma to like a place or whatever, and it's like they're lying, right, and then sure enough, like the girl goes like spots it on TV, like spots the three of them, and then like it's just like, nope, this is my family. This is my mom. These are my aunts. This is where they live. Like blah blah blah, and it's like, so that's become a meme. The Twitter, it's like Me Too, for this, yeah. Which is this you, which is all these fucking right wingers are like, oh my god, I'm losing so many followers. Like, why am I losing so many followers? What could be happening that's making me lose all these followers? And it's like, this you, like a private company has the right to do whatever the blah blah,
Tyranny. Yeah, no. So some of the stupidest ones that I think. Well, I don't want to start with the best one, but there was I don't know if you saw the one where the guy's climbing up, and then he almost gets to the top, and like he goes to kind of grab the other guy's hand, and then just falls all the way down.
Yeah, he's dead.
No, really?
Yep.
The guy.
Apparently, one of the guys that was scaling the wall, I don't know which one, but one of them that was scaling the wall that fell off is dead.
Wow. Okay.
And I think
he's in the running then. He's definitely in the running.
Yeah. Stupid dead.
Let's see, who else is there? There was I mean, obviously the ones who drew a lot of attention to themselves.
Well, the Don't Tread on Me, who got tread on to death.
Oh well, yeah, there's that. But the best one, I think the all-time best one, was the guy who tased himself accidentally in the balls and then had a heart attack and died.
Fucking hands down, yes, that's the dumbest for sure. That guy.
Although, so somebody apparently was, somebody like took a shit and smeared. They like wrote something in shit on the walls
Oh, that's.
of Congress.
I mean, that's just gross.
Yeah, I mean,
bro. Oh,
it's honestly what we're dealing with is like some of the most mentally ill people that are allowed to go walk around freely in the United States right now. Who happen to? Yeah.
I think that for a lot of them, right? Like, it's like, yeah, sure, fine, like arrest them, whatever, but then like give them like 4 months, right? Like give the fucking dumbasses like a short sentence, but then put fucking Matt Gaetz underneath the prison.
So yeah, of course we got. Well, I mean, we can continue talking about what I like to call the kindergarten coup, because what it reminded me of, and especially if you watched the speeches right before the quote unquote insurrection. I don't know if you've seen any of the footage of Trump's
stuff.
Trump's speech or Giuliani's speech.
Oh yeah,
but they're speaking in this way that reminds me of like somebody yelling on the playground at recess. You know, like, this is my team and I'm whatever. You know, blah blah blah. And we're gonna fight and we're gonna win the game and blah blah blah. And it just seemed like a bunch of like just really juvenile. That's so immediately I thought kindergarten coup is exactly what this is. You know, like Giuliani said something about like we're gonna do a trial by combat.
Yeah, that's like fucking ridiculous. I cannot fucking believe, like, as stupid as Giuliani is, I cannot believe he said that shit. Like, that is.
And he's getting a lot of calls to resign to get disbarred right now.
Yeah, no, New York is looking at it, right? And this was my other favorite like sort of story that got like a second of play and then like went away because it doesn't.
Well, hang on. Before you get to that, there's one more thing that was mentioned in the speeches right before the insurrection, and it was from Trump himself. And I don't know, a lot of people didn't pick up on this, but right before, like right at the end of the speech, he said, "So going down there to the Capitol, and I'm going to be right there with you." And then he went right to the White House, like, fuck that, I'm not going over there.
You, nope. what I thought was hilarious, right? Is like, so what it was like last week. I called you while I was at work because of the phone call from Georgia, right? You remember? Do you even remember it? Do you even remember it?
Barely. I was thinking about. I looked back because I always keep kind of notes on what's going on between the times we talk, and I was looking back on it. I was like, oh my god, that wasn't 2 months ago. You know?
It was like, oh, dude, we really should. This is big, right? That's what I like. It was like, this is, or it's big and it's stupid. It's perfect for us, right? Like that part's still true, right? It's like, wow, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and it's like somehow treasonous or whatever. Then a bigger, stupider, more treasonous thing happened, like or whatever.
Well, you know what's funny? I'm pretty sure I heard somebody talking about calling to impeach Trump over that phone call.
Yeah,
like
I remember that too.
a week ago.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's crazy now to think that they were even thinking about that. It's just like now, and just to like ramp it up even more, what's going to happen between now and inauguration day, or on inauguration day, or the days following?
No,
I mean, you can't expect it's just going to die now.
Well, whatever. Anyway, this is raise your glass of to the death of America, and for whatever, you know, even though like I'm kidding, I don't care. Slow motion instant replay. That I was like, okay, number one, what you guys have NFL cameras in there? What? It was magnified many times over. What? You mean the zoom and enhance thing that fucking everybody on the internet makes fun of, right? Where like, you know, in old movies where it's like, okay, zoom and enhance, right? And it's like, well, you can't do that with a fucking, like the resolution is what it is, right? Like that's the joke on the internet, right? And it's like, or you know, for the tech folks, right? And it's like it's like, okay, you watch it slow motion instant replay, magnified many times. Eventually, in that conversation, he said 18 times. Okay, and that like I couldn't listen to the rest of the, you know, that was like maybe 10, 20 minutes in, right?
Do you know the video that he's talking about?
No.
It's the dumbest thing. There's this video of like a surveillance camera up in the corner of the ceiling or whatever. And it shows how they like left, I think they left the building for there was like a fire drill.
No, water main break.
Water main, okay, that's what it was, yeah. And then they came back and they just, you know, kept going as they were.
Right.
And this guy pulls a suitcase of ballots out from under a table. It's like a case of ballots. It's not a suitcase.
Yeah. Oh, with the cape.
Case of ballots.
With the cape.
But yeah, there's cases everywhere all around.
No, there's also a cape. There's also a cape.
A cake. I don't remember the cake, but it doesn't matter.
CAPE. With the black cloak, the cape.
Around the table. Yeah,
he said a bunch of shit that, especially because I don't pay attention to shit, right? Like, so I'm not listening to like what their evidence of what fraud.
It's all been debunked, but that was like one of the biggest ones. Is like so obvious.
But my God, when I heard that, right? Like it's like, oh, with the table with the cape and we saw it on a slow motion instant replay. If you can believe that if you can believe that part, like just it's like that was like I'm stopping. I'm stopping. I have to rewind. I'm clipping this.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? Because it's like
My favorite. What?
Because what? Number one, it's like, yeah, I didn't know any of the ins and outs of like what he could be talking about, right? Like, so alls I heard was, right, the table with the cape and the bird, like he's talking about it like everybody else knows what the fuck he's talking about, and then it's like we watched it in slow motion, instant replay, magnified a lot of times, right? And
If you can believe that.
I'm like, get the no, you did not. You did not do that.
Breaking news. ABC News reports armed protests being planned at all 50 state capitals, FBI bulletin says.
Insurrectionists planning on trying to take over the governor again. Are they stupid or are they stupid? We'll have more at 5:56 o'clock.
Yes. Starting this week and running through at least Inauguration Day, armed protests are being planned at all 50 state capitals and at the U.S. Capitol, according to an internal FBI bulletin obtained by ABC News.
Looks like looks like Y'all Qaeda is gonna try again. But
Y'all Qaeda. I'm not reading the rest of the article, by the way. I'm going to go off script.
Fuck it. Listen. Y'all Qaeda planning another insurrection. This time at the state capitals. How many state capitals are in places that you've ever heard of? Not many, turns out. But those ones will be sparsely attended, but probably by more heavily armed people.
Well, that's all speculation from you, old timer.
Yeah, well, I've been drinking quite a bit. Also, still smoking on air. Fuck you.
Like, this is a serious question because I'm not sure, actually. Do you think Trump would have won the 2016 election without Steve Bannon?
No.
I don't think so either. I don't think that it necessarily he was like, I think the main thing that he brought to it was kind of like the culture of it, the kind of like the aesthetic of it, and that kind of thing. Almost.
Right. Well, and it's
which
like,
is very important in that kind
campaigning and shit. Yeah. Well, but I also think that it's like Steve Bannon, right? I guarantee you this happened, right? I have no proof that this happened, but I guarantee you it did, right? Steve Bannon sat down with Trump, right? And he was like, look, you can keep flying by the seat of your pants, which is a good thing for you, right? That is a good thing for you. It's what you should do, right? But it has to be directed towards a place, right? I am that guy, right? I'm the guy who can do that for you, using your strength, like pushing you to use your strengths, right? Mm-hmm. And to throw away some of your fucking dumber, fucking more narcissistic, more like idiotic tendencies, right? And
Yeah.
like, so when he did that, it was like whatever. Taibbi wrote a book about it, right? Insane Clown President, right? Where it's just like, it was just like him going to these Trump rallies and being like, I don't know, guys. Like, this seems pretty big, right? And towards the end, the thing that he pointed out was towards the end, Trump would give these very dry speeches about how he was trying to help, like, about what he was going to do for the African American community, right? And the people at the rallies fucking hated it, right? But what it did was it legitimated him to those Republicans that aren't just hooting fucking morons, right? Like, they're like, oh, okay, so I see he knows how to play the game, right? Even if he doesn't believe any of this shit, he knows how to play the game. Somebody can fucking make him say shit, right? And it's like, who's that someone? Steve Bannon. That's who it was, right? And so every time I listen to Steve Bannon talk, I'm like, I get it. He's like a charming oaf, right?
Mm-hmm.
But behind that charming oaf is I hesitate to use the word genius, but like a marketing savant that knows what the fuck he wants, right?
Yeah, and knows how to get it. Like, I don't know, he was part of the Cambridge Analytica thing, which was a huge part of this. And to the people who don't know, that's the Facebook. Facebook basically allowed this company, Cambridge Analytica, to just mine data from every user, basically, and then use it against them, basically as propaganda to convince them to vote for Trump or to not vote at all. Was the biggest tactic I think they used. But anyways, so that company, Cambridge Analytica, was run by a family called the Mercers, and apparently they also have ties to that app Parler, which is now not having a good week.
No, it's gone. It's gone. Amazon Web Services revoked their fucking server use. It's gone.
Yeah, and then somebody hacked in, apparently very easily hacked into the mainframe and archived all of the data out of it. So anybody who had any information, and especially if they posted a video, they have all their GPS info and all that.
Oh yeah, no. Apparently, this is the other interesting thing I just found out, right? The Capitol has its own cell tower, right? So you know how you find location by pinging off the nearest cell tower? Well, fucking everybody that had their phones turned on in the Capitol, we know you were there. We know who you are. We whatever. We can get your fucking shit. Online was talking about how had just kept posting photos of different protests that have taken place at the Capitol and what happened to those people, And the most striking one was a group called Adapt that it's like Americans with disabilities that were advocating for something. I don't know all the details, but it was like they were Capitol Police were fucking heaving people with canes and wheelchairs and whatever,
Oh,
like
yeah.
cerebral palsy, like they were just heaving them out the door, right?
I've
So
seen
like,
the pictures of that too.
oh, okay, so they know what to do. So then, but
Well, yeah, I mean, they deal with protesters a lot, I think, but usually
they don't try to violently breach the Capitol.
Yeah, I think usually I don't even know if they usually get inside or maybe they're allowed in like certain part or whatever.
No, what they do is what usually happens is like they'll get into like a Senate hearing, right? And then or a House hearing or whatever, one of the hearings, right? And then they'll start yelling, right? And so then they have to be dragged out, right? Which is kind of on purpose, right? Like it's like
Right.
like that's the pictures of that are why you would do that, right? You want to be dragged out, right? Like, but at the same time, like, Capitol Police, like they fucking, they beat up Cindy Sheehan. They fucking, they've really they've treated people real rough if there aren't a lot of them, right?
Well, shit, I mean, there's videos, we haven't mentioned this yet, there's videos of the Capitol Police letting the rioters in.
Oh, yeah.
There's videos of them taking selfies with each other, high-fiving, handshakes.
And anybody that says, right, that, like, that's not true or whatever, it's propaganda or whatever, dude, I saw with my own eyes a video of a Capitol policeman open, and this is why for some of those fucking people I feel bad, right? Because like, dude, they let them in, right? Like you can't really fault those people for being like, well, they let us in, right? Like it's like it wasn't like a lot of those like old ladies and shit were like storming the Bastille with fucking weapons and shit. It's like a lot of them were like, no, they let us in. That's why that picture that's been circulating of like the insurrectionists, but they were still like behind the fucking red velvet rope that like to go through the metal detector, right? It's like that's stupid, yes, but like that's how like much they were let into the Capitol.